started shaking. I started shaking. I couldn't like, I felt like it was like, you can control yourself, right? Like,
Yeah.
like, you can,
Your body.
you can, yeah, I feel like I could not control my body. My arms like start shaking, right? And then I said, hey, I said, where you at? I said, come home. I said, can you come to my house? And she's like, I'm in Florida. I was like, wow.
Man.
So I called like 4 people, right? I call my son, I call somebody else, and I call my cousin, and it's like nothing, right? Nobody. And you know why? I got to go through that. I had to go through that.
Yeah.
So by myself,
Yeah.
my cousin answered, I say, I think I'm having a panic attack. And I was like, as soon as I said that, it was like, boom. I felt like something hit me bad.
It's God over everything. If it ain't of you, Lord, I don't want it. They can keep it.
I remember that night, man. I was at the house by myself. And I think I had drank the day before or something. I had drank earlier too, and then I even though I knew that the only person or the only way that I could get out, it was with God's help.
Right.
That I was, since I came from El Salvador, man, it was when I was back home, I was a kid that you see me with the Bible going to church, and
yeah.
it was like, yeah, man, I was looking for change, man, to go to pay the bus to go to church, but I used to do that, you know. So, I knew since little, man, I don't know why, but I knew since little that God had me, that God, it was like, that I always had support.
Yeah.
So I was praying. I mean, even though, drinking and everything, I was like, get on my knees and like, or when I feel like really bad, man, I used to go to the restaurant and just paid or pray or but that night I was I was praying, and I got on my knees and I was praying, man. And then when I finished praying, I was crying, and what's going on and this and that. And I feel lonely. I feel like I was done. I didn't care about anything. I just wanted, I just felt like I just needed to, like be down and be down. And it doesn't matter. Like if a car runs to me, that was my answer.
Yeah.
So that night, I was I prayed, I was crying, I got up, and as soon as I got up, man, I felt like I started losing, and this never happened to me. Never happened to me. I didn't know what it was, right? So I got up and I started losing. I couldn't breathe, like fast, man. It's like this happened like within minutes. I started like breathing faster and faster, and it's like, and then I started shaking. I couldn't like, I felt like it was like, you can control yourself, right? Like, you can,
Your body.
you can, yeah. I feel like I could not control my body. My arms like start shaking, right? And it's like, I'm like what's going on? And I start getting scared.
Yeah.
So I called my son. And said, hey, I said, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I'm on a date. He was on a date with his girlfriend. And I was like, damn. I was like, man.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to say anything, right? So, but I started like trying to like breathe, but I couldn't, man. It's like, so I called my cousin. And then I said, hey, I said, where you at? I said, come home. I said, can you come to my house? And she's like, I'm in Florida. I was like, wow.
Man.
So I called like 4 people, right? I call my son, I call somebody else, and I call my cousin, and it's like nothing, right? Nobody. And you know why? I got to go through that. I had to go through that,
yeah.
right? So by myself.
Yeah.
I had to go through that. I was by myself. I had to go through that by myself.
Right.
So that's what I believe now. So when I told my cousin answer, I say, I think I'm having a panic attack. And I was like, as soon as I said that, it was like, boom. I felt like something hit me bad. Boom. And I felt like have you ever, felt, I'm sure that when you sleep, when you feel like you're gonna fall?
Yeah.
You're gonna fall and you're like kind of like woke up.
Yeah.
Exactly like that, but I was awake.
Oh, wow.
So I felt like that, man. And bro, from there, forget it. I start I start getting scared. Next thing, scared, super scared. Like a scare and I couldn't breathe and then it's like I said my cousin was like breathe. I said I can't breathe. I said my arms are getting hard or getting like
locking up,
locking, man. And I was like, what's going on? It's like and then I was like, I said call 911. And I put the phone on my chest and I had it on the speaker, right? So they could hear me. She said, let me call Chris. My son, right? So she called Chris. She put Chris on the phone, and it's like, and Chris was hour and 20 minutes away, right?
Wow.
So she called, and I said, hey, you need to go to the house. Something was going on with your dad, and at that moment, something happened that the phone went off a speaker. I'm telling you, when I had to go through this by myself, I had to go through this by myself, because then I hear them. But and because my arms started locking like this, man, my arms, and like I couldn't pick up the phone.
Wow.
Because I was so scared.
Yeah.
And I told I said, I was like, in my head, I was like, this is it.
Yeah.
This is it. I'm not gonna get out of this one.
Yeah, that when you told me that story, man, it was like, for me, that was like your moment of hitting rock bottom, right? Like where you couldn't depend on anyone else.
That's it.
And I had a similar moment, and that'll be another day. I'm gonna make a video too. But I had a moment where I hit rock bottom, and there was nobody in the world that could help me.
Yeah.
There was not a single soul that could help me. So I had to cry out to God.
Yeah.
Right. I had to cry out to God, and I love Psalms 18 because Psalms 18 basically tells my story, and I would tell my story to others.
Yeah.
And 2 years before I read Psalms 18, I was talking about exactly what Psalms 18 says.
Yeah.
And so, man, it's I can relate to what you're saying. In that moment, you just, your phone went on silent from speaker.
But how? See what I'm saying? It's how, nobody was at the house, nobody was available. Like the phone went off speaker, so I couldn't hear him, but I couldn't pick up the phone. I tried to pick up the phone, I couldn't.
Yeah.
And because my arms were locked, and then my feet started getting locked.
Wow, man.
So at that moment, man, I was like, this is it. It's done. I'm done. I felt and like just to think about it, right? It's like that the emotion.
Yes.
I felt that one more, if I take one more deep breathe, because I couldn't breathe, I had to take that was it. That was done. I felt like my heart was gonna explode. That's how hard it was. My chest was hard, man. My chest was like tight, really tight. So they call 911 and everything, but at that moment, it was like you said, man. When you get to the bottom, I see like that moment. I was by myself. I was like not doing personally and spiritually, great. But you know what I did? I stopped praying.
Yes.
I stopped praying. I said, God, I said, help me. And when I say help me, I said, God, help me. I was like, I can't give up.
Right.
I can't give up. I'm not done yet. So it's like, I'm not done yet. I can't give up. I cannot give up. I can't give up. And I just kept saying, I can't give up. Before this, I was still telling my son, I was like, love you, bro.
Right.
So I already had told my son, I love you and stuff like that. And then I was like, I can't give up. I was like, no, this is not it. Why? Why am I gonna go down like this? Why?
Right.
I have fought and fought life.
Right.
Fought life where being back home and being a kid that bully and came here and do something of my life and be able to change the legacy, start changing the legacy or change the legacy and my family, and be somebody, man. It's like,
right.
You know, and it's like I can't go down like this, man.
Right.
You know, where it's like I'm on the bottom of like everything. You know,
Right.
so I said I can't give up. I can't give up, and I start praying and I said, God, give me the opportunity, give me the strength. You know, and it's like I can't give up, and it's like I can't. Still remember, man, it's hard because he was like,
Yeah.
so I said I can do it. You know, I can do it. I said, give me the opportunity. I said I can do it. I said I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. And I said, give me the strength to get out of this one. You know, and I was like, I started like kind of like trying to like get my arms up, and I couldn't. But finally, man, I was after like praying and saying, God, you know, help me. I can't go down like this. I love my kids and all this stuff, you know. And it's like I just in my head, man, in my heart, it's like I can't go down like this.
Right.
You know, I can't. It's like, no, man. It's like I know there is more. I know there is more. So, you know, and I don't know how long it lasted, because it's like, you know, it felt like it was like hours and hours. I mean, the pain, man, the pain and the feeling and everything. And so finally, I heard the ambulance downstairs, but they couldn't get in. So they finally got the code. They got in, and they just saw me. They just saw me and said, "Oh, you're having a panic attack. We cannot do anything." And they left.
Wow.
Yeah, man. So, but then he said that the firefighters are here. You know,
Okay.
so what they do, because they can't do anything. That's all they say. They saw me. Oh, you're having a panic attack. And then that, you know, these other two guys came in, and they're like, they kind of like read my heart, and it's like, yeah, you're having a panic attack. It's like, we cannot do anything. You have to get out of it. And well, at least I had somebody there.
Yeah.
I had somebody there, and he's like, okay, we have to take you to the hospital, and he's like, because you're not coming out of it, because it was like 15 minutes, and they're like, we gotta go.
Yeah.
You know, we're not making money here. You know, we gotta go. You know, it's like, we gotta go. You know, it's like, I said, hey man, I said, just please stay. You know, stay until my son comes. He said, like, he's in the way. He should be here anytime soon. You know,
Yeah.
anytime. You know, and I was like, he's like, okay, no. He's like, we're already too long. It's like, we gotta take you to the hospital. And they already had told me, like, oh, we're gonna take you to the hospital. They're not gonna do anything. They're just gonna leave you there. And I didn't want to go in the ambulance and be like there, and like, you know, it was gonna freak me out more, you know.
Yeah.
So I said, no, I'm not going. I don't want to go to the hospital. You know, it's just I said, like, can you just wait till my son come if this is what I have, you know? But I think I was coming out already, because I was able to speak, you know.
Yeah.
And this like, okay, well, if you don't want to go, you know, we'll make you sign something. They make me sign something, so because I refused to go, right? So
Right.
you know, 10 minutes later or 5 minutes later, my son got there. My son was all scared and everything, man, because they heard everything on the phone. I was screaming, screaming, crying, giving up first, you know, and then I was like, oh, like I have to do this, like I can't, I'm not gonna give up, and this and that, right?
Right.
I was just having that fight, you know, because I could have heard them, I couldn't like barely heard them, but I was having a fight to myself. I was having a fight.
Right.
You know, I was fighting this evil stuff or whatever it was, man. I was fighting and for my life. So that happened, man. That happened, and when I went through it, I was weak. I couldn't get out. I was weak, man. I felt so drained. I felt like I couldn't like get up, and I felt like so tired, and it was not a good feeling. You know, it was not a good feeling, and that's when I was like, these have to change, man. You know, these have to change, and then you know, I start doing things like, you know, meditating. That's one of the things that, you know, I start adopting, you know, meditating, and Karen and I, you know, I start doing different things. You know, start doing alcohol was still there. Right. You know, I still like, after that, it's still like, because it's you know, it's hard. It's I tell you that, it's very hard. Right. Very hard to just like change your habits that you've been doing for 20 years. Right. You know, change those habits, man. Those habits, but that's where everything started. Like that's where everything started. Like the seed,
Right.
Plant the seed, right? And God came and planted the seeds for you to change.
Right.
For you to change and leave all this stuff. Change and to start from you from the inside.
Right.
From the inside and heal from the inside.
Right.
Heal and change your heart.
Right.
And change the heart that about everything, Victor, about everything, even the way you talk, the way you express yourself. I mean, before was like a lot of stuff, man. It was like, it's a lot of things that look, like we know in our heart what even if we say a lie, right? Let's put it this, even if you say a lie. Yeah, maybe the other person, whoever you lied to, maybe the other person is not going to find out. But
Right.
You know that you said a lie. And maybe you're going to say another one to cover that lie.
Right.
And then another one. And it becomes a habit.
Yep.
Right? Becomes a habit. So even things like that, Victor, you have to change. I mean, I changed, right? I changed from all this stuff, man, from all that toxic stuff.
Yeah.
That your heart, your soul is suffering.
Right.
And we don't and I just believe that that evil or because we believe in God, because it's God and it's evil, right?
Right.
So I just believe that these things have you down,
right?
And all life is fine, you're okay, you just don't want to deal with it, or it gives you an excuse why you have to do these little things, whatever it is,
right?
So it becomes natural, natural to you, or like becomes normal, right? So when you start changing those things, when you start recognizing, so at this point, man, it's from that panic attack, I start like saying, I have to change.
Right.
If I want another opportunity, I need to change.
Right.
So start living little things, one thing and another thing and another thing and another thing. And it's a process, man. It doesn't work from one day to another.
Right.
It's a process. It's been 2 years. 2 years, maybe even a little bit more than that, when that happened. Labor Day is when it happened. Labor Day weekend 2021. I think that's when it happened. Is when the panic attack happened.
Yeah, I'm always cautious of people, because you hear about people that say, man, I gave my heart to the Lord and he radically changed me. Mm-hmm. And they're changed overnight. And I'm always cautious with people like that, because it's like, is that an emotional thing or is that a real thing?
Yeah.
Because sometimes people say they got changed radically, and then 3-4 months later they go back to being who they were. Right. The change that you're talking about is what in the Christian world, what we call is born again.
Yeah.
Right. You're completely born again. You're a new person.
Yeah.
And you have to leave those old ways behind if you are to walk in the path that God has laid out for you. Right. And so that's basically what you're describing there. And everything that you just said, right, is, the Bible talks about the spiritual warfare. And it's a real thing.
Yeah.
Right. And the Bible tells us that we're not fighting against enemies of flesh and blood, but of evil spirits of the unseen world.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, man, they don't believe in that.
Yeah.
But they've never seen it. They've never experienced it. They've never been in the places that you and I have been at. And until you're there, you might read that passage in the Bible and think that it's not real, man.
Yeah.
But no, I know exactly where you're coming from, and I've seen the changes in you, man.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, man, it's amazing. It's it's a process. Even after the panic attack, it's like you said, man. It's like 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, it's like, oh, I feel good. A month later, I feel good. Let me taste. Let me get some wine again.
Yeah.
And, one glass, and here we go again, right?
Yeah.
So it's I tell you this, it's when you have the support, when you have changed, your life, and you know, when you have said no to the circle, to the cycle anymore, right? Because you have to do that. You the one who gotta say no.
Right.
Otherwise, it's like, you know, it's not gonna be easy. But you know, I have nothing else, you know, to lose, and I want to change. You know, I don't want to go down like this. I don't want to go down, you know, with for my kids, for my new relationship and things like that. You know, but then it's a person come to you. You know what? When you feel like, yeah, I want to change and stuff like that, and you start attracting that, you want to change. You know, God is gonna put these people in front of you. You know, it's gonna put these people, put these new people in front of you, and then, you know, and Karen was there. You know, my fiance is there, and it's like she never drank before. I mean, she was not used to. You know, she started like drinking with me and stuff like that, but she wasn't used to, right?
Right.
So she's like, I just don't like to drink. You know, so you start like, I was like, okay, you know, and this and that, and then you start adopting those habits,
right?
New habits,
right?
Because what happened? You reborn,
right?
You know, you're reborn, and now because you don't have any friends,
right?
You don't have any friends,
right?
Everybody is like, "Where's your friends?"
Yeah, you ain't buying them drinks no more. Where they at?
Exactly. Bro, like, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know,
and
you know, my relationship, and she's like, I don't like to drink, you know, and I like to take care of myself.
There you go.
You know, so it's like, wow, you know, it's like you going through this, you're reborn, and it's, this person come to you, and it's like, you know, so but at that point, it's like, what, you've been praying for this for years, right? The numbers 9/11, right? Like end of cycle, new beginning, right? So it's like, it's right there, it's in your face, right? You got to recognize it, you know, but we still like, oh no, you know, this is cool, you know, like get back on the comfort zone. Oh man, you know, hey, let's get some wine, or let's do this, and you know, and try to get her what you were before, you know, and still, right? Because it's not easy. It's not easy, you know, even though after the panic attack, even though after other stuff, but it's not easy. It's not easy to do that. You have to, like, you know, you have to be conscious. You have to wake up. You have to born. You have to, you know, meditation was one of the things that helped me a lot. You know, meditate. You know, meditation, and Karen and I, she liked to meditate too. So you know, we started meditating. So we start meditating, and then we start changing our habits, changing our eating habits, right? So changing our eating habits, man, and we start learning how to eat, learning what to eat, learning what not to eat, learning what makes you sick, learning what blocks you from reality.
Right.
You know, and one of that was alcohol, right? One of that was alcohol. Blocks you from reality. You know, alcohol is a thief of life. You know? So I started, you know, reading about that and looking at watching videos and things like that. So then Karen found a nutritionist that we went to. Yeah. And I was like, man, nutritionist? I was like, okay, but you know, but you know, it's like, sometimes when you know, when things come to you and it's like, okay, well, I never tried it, let's do it, you know, because I'm open to do all this stuff now, you know. It's like nutritionist, you know, eat right, exercise, learning how to eat, learning to read the labels, you know, on other stuff that we eat. As like, okay, you know, let's go to the nutritionist. That's when things got real. Yeah. You know, because now we start learning how to eat. We start learning what sugar does to you. We start learning what alcohol does to you. We start learning what carbs. We start learning this stuff. What does to your body. Not only that, Victor, what all this stuff blocks your mind. You know, we are light. We power for light. Right. You know, we power for light that we can heal ourselves. You know, we can easily heal.
Yeah.
Heal physically, mentally, heal your soul. How?
Right.
But how, right? It's like how? Like the stuff that we put in our body, right? The way you eat,
Right.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Have to do a lot with the way you communicate. Your mind works, your soul works, your heart works, right? So because there is a clear channel, right? There is a channel from you to God, right? So there's a channel from you to God and you to the universe and I believe that, and I'm working on that right now to have a clear channel, and I'm here because of that. I just
Right.
like I feel like I have to say this, right? I have to like give my message to a lot of guys out there and the guys that are like that went through what I went through.
Right.
I had everything. I'm still a successful person, but in a different way.
Right.
And I'm still blessed. I just bought my company, and after 20 years and working the same thing but I wanna, I just felt that I had to get the message out
Right.
to people like you and I, that we were there, man. It's like dark and everything, and it's a way to get out, and
Right.
one of the ways is like, hey, God is one of them. God is the only way.
Right.
God is the only way out, and be clear of what you want, and having the people that break the cycle,
Right.
and having the people that really loves you with you, and like, I have my kids and Karen and they encourage me every day, and I encourage them every day,
Right.
So eating, man, it's like eating is one of the biggest part as well too. It's like, sugar. I'll tell you this, and I mentioned that to you the other day. It's like sugar is 10 times more addictive than cocaine.
That is crazy.
Sugar, it's 10 times more addictive than cocaine.
And kids are exposed to it at a very young age.
As I was telling you, it's like, why we came here for? Like why we in this world?
At least for me, I found my purpose after I hit rock bottom.
That clear channel with God and be a different person, and because I do believe in reincarnation. I do believe in an afterlife.
So you believe in reincarnation?
I do believe.
Okay. Stuff. I don't believe in reincarnation. I believe what's in the Bible.